There are some moments inside a home that cannot be described through words. Nothing visible has changed. The room looks the same. The daily routine continues as usual. However, something feels different, subtle, almost unnoticeable. Most people ignore that perception. Dogs do not. Before a voice becomes sharp, before tension becomes obvious, before silence turns heavy, a dog has already adjusted. It may change its position slightly. It may hesitate before entering a room. It may choose distance over closeness without any clear reason, or at least without a cause we can immediately see. Because what a dog responds to is not just what is occurring. It is what is forming. The atmosphere is not invisible to them. Humans tend to believe that atmosphere is something abstract, a vague emotional layer that exists somewhere in the background of daily life. Something we notice only when it becomes strong enough to affect us directly. But for a dog, atmosphere is not background. It is the environment itself. A dog does not separate substantial space from emotional tone. The room is not just walls and furniture. It is movement, rhythm, sound patterns, and the subtle shifts between people sharing that space. When two people sit together in silence, a human might interpret that silence as calm, or as awkward, or as neutral, depending on context. A dog does not interpret. It registers. It notices the stillness of bodies, the direction of gaze, the presence or absence of fluid movement, the micro-delays in response, the tension held in shoulders, hands, breath. These are not isolated details. They form a pattern, and that pattern becomes the atmosphere. How dogs read what humans miss. To understand how dogs sense the atmosphere of a house, it helps to step away from how humans process information. Humans rely heavily on language. Words provide clarity, structure, and explanation. Even emotions are often understood after they are expressed verbally. Dogs operate in reverse. They process everything before language would ever exist. A dog does not wait for confirmation. It does not need a raised voice to recognize discomfort. By the time a human expresses frustration, the dog has already observed the buildup that led to it. This includes changes so small that they rarely reach conscious awareness. The pace of footsteps as someone walks through a room. The difference between relaxed movement and controlled movement. The way a hand rests naturally versus the way it holds tension. Even breathing patterns matter. A slower, deeper breath communicates stability. A shallow or irregular breath introduces uncertainty. These signals are constant, and they are always being read, not analyzed, simply absorbed. This is why a dog can appear to react out of nowhere. From the human perspective, nothing has happened yet. From the dog's perspective, it has already happened. The home as a living pattern. A home is often described as a place, a physical environment where routines take place and life unfolds. But from a dog's point of view, a home is closer to a system of repeated patterns. The same door opening at similar times. The same footsteps moving through familiar paths. The same emotional tones appearing in predictable ways. These patterns create stability, and stability creates safety. When the pattern remains consistent, a dog relaxes. It moves freely. It rests without hesitation. It engages without second-guessing the environment. But when the pattern shifts, even slightly, something changes. Not dramatically, quietly. A delayed response. A different tone in a voice. A subtle change in how people move around each other. To a human, this may seem insignificant. To a dog, it is a disruption in the system. And disruption, even when small, invites caution. Why dogs react before humans do. One of the most fascinating aspects of this awareness is timing. Dogs often respond to changes in atmosphere before humans fully recognize them. This is not because dogs understand emotions better in a conceptual sense. It is because they are not distracted by interpretation. Humans tend to explain, justify, and sometimes even suppress what they feel. There is a delay between perception and acknowledgement. Dogs do not have that delay. They exist in direct contact with the present moment. When something shifts, even slightly, their response adjusts immediately. This is why a dog may leave a room moments before tension becomes obvious. Why it may avoid approaching someone who appears calm on the surface. Why it may stay closer to one person over another without any clear external difference. These choices are not random. They are aligned with what the dog is sensing beneath the surface. When calm is not actually calm. There are situations where a home appears peaceful. No raised voices. No visible conflict. Everything seems controlled and orderly. And yet, a dog may behave differently. It may remain slightly alert instead of fully relaxed. It may hesitate before settling down. It may prefer certain spaces over others without an obvious reason. This often creates confusion, because from a human perspective, there is no problem to identify. But calm, in a human sense, does not always mean relaxed. Sometimes, what appears calm is actually contained tension, stillness without ease, silence without comfort. Dogs are particularly sensitive to this difference. They respond not just to what is present, but to how it is held. A quiet room with genuine ease feels different from a quiet room where something is being suppressed. And a dog does not need that difference to be explained. It simply feels it. The role of consistency and trust. Over time, dogs build an internal map of their environment. Not just where things are, but how things usually feel. This includes the emotional rhythms of the home. When these rhythms are stable, trust develops naturally. The dog learns that the environment is predictable, that changes, when they occur, follow familiar patterns. But when inconsistency becomes frequent, the map becomes less reliable. And when the map becomes unreliable, awareness increases. Not curiosity, vigilance. A dog in this state is not necessarily anxious in an obvious way. It may still eat, play, and respond normally. But there is a subtle shift in how it moves through the environment. More observation, more hesitation, more sensitivity to small changes. This is not a flaw. It is adaptation. The quiet awareness that stays unnoticed. In most homes, this process happens continuously without being recognized. Dogs adjust, they reposition, they observe, and life continues. There is no dramatic moment, no clear signal that something has been detected, just small, consistent responses to a constantly shifting environment. This is why the idea that dogs sense something can feel mysterious. But in reality, it is not a special ability. It is a natural one. A result of living fully connected to the present, without distraction, without interpretation, and without the need to explain what is already felt. And once you begin to notice this, something changes. Not in the dog, but in how you see the space around you. Because the atmosphere you thought was subtle may not be as invisible as it seemed. If this way of understanding dogs brought a new perspective to you, consider subscribing. Not for quick answers or simple tips, but for a deeper look into how dogs experience the world quietly, constantly, and often more clearly than we do.